even from the flanks now. I think he'd be a creative player's dream.
I only disagreed with his goal celebration.
Yeah.
I can't believe you two are doing that, but yeah.
What people? I'm Poet and this is Prove Me Wrong. Same thing every single week. Someone has a take they believe in and we have to show them that they are wrong.
I've got a take.
Have you?
I've got a take.
No way.
I do.
Go to my brother.
My take is that more or less every single player that is the best player of their generation would be one of the best players of this generation. That is my argument. And any generation.
Give me an example. I want three examples.
So, an example, Pele was great in 1950 something. Yeah? But the way he was striking the ball, the way he was dropping the shoulder on a man, I think he would have done that to anyone in any era. My second example, Diego Maradona. I think even in VAR times, we would have let the hand of God stand because he was that good. he would have found a way.
What about the knee in the face?
Yeah? That's class as well. That's why I'm rating him. And then my third one, you know what? I throw Johan Cruyff in there. Johan Cruyff.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. God rest all of their souls. They're all up there. But serious man would have done it in any era. The pitches are better now. The nutrition is better now. The tactics are more intricate. I think these guys would have shone in this era.
Can I actually move forward and say, with those examples, I agree. But can I throw some examples that I don't agree with?
Okay, then.
That potentially may not be as big as those, but they were big players within their era.
Let's go.
Let's send it down to England.
Okay.
I don't think Alan Shearer's class today.
I'm not having that.
What?
I am with strikers. It's the most apparent. I think when it comes to strikers, these guys would be dons in today's game, bro.
The reason why I don't think Shearer would be a don today is because a lot of the requirements you need for a striker today to be a top striker, bear in mind, our strikers went through a period where they were hitting 30 plus. I haven't really seen strikers in the Prem do that for a while. So with the strikers that are doing well, what do they have? Height is one of them. Strength is another of them. Pace is another of them. They have to actually be very clinical nowadays. You might not get opportunities for time. I know Shearer was strong. He definitely wasn't fast. He wasn't one of the tallest. And I think Shearer's a striker that needs a hell of a lot of help. He's the end of a story. He's not part of the build-up. I don't look at him as like a number 10. He's just an out-and-out 9, and your team basically has to cater towards him. I don't think them type of strikers...
I'm going to counter some of that because Shearer was definitely clinical as one of the top Premier League goal scorers of all time. He's up there in that list. To say that he weren't strong? He weren't strong?
I didn't say that.
But don't you think... You see what you just described, though?
Those are
the best...
The A's are not working.
Those are the best strikers in the world right now. Like, fair enough, there's Mbappe, but for the most part, it's like the Haalands. You see Gyökeres last season. The guys that are just there to finish, I think Shearer would thrive in this era.
I don't think Shearer works in this era.
Elite ball striker. I think in his time, when he was younger, I think he was quite mobile. I think he had the pace. And as he got older, he just had the know-how, like. For me, obviously, I caught kind of the end of Shearer's career. But ball striking wise, God bless every keeper that'll be in front of them shots today. You understand? And just with the creative players that they got in the 8s and the 10s, even from the flanks now, I think he'd be a creative player's dream.
I only disagreed with his goal celebration. I can't believe you two are doing that, but yeah.
I'm still not sure about him. And also, one thing we spoke about on Tuesday's episode is we spoke about the amount of touches a centre-back gets. And in comparison to the back in the day, I don't think centre-backs touch the ball that much.
Throwing one in there again now.
Go on.
Franz Beckenbauer. 70,000 touches a game. I couldn't tell you any other player that was there, but any clip I seen of him, he gets the ball from the keeper or the fullback.
Runs all the way.
From the first, before he even receives the ball, shoulder drop, going this way, and next man comes. Broski's running through teams.
Who had a better ball retention, him or Maradona?
It'd probably be Maradona being the attacker, but for a player in the back line, remember this guy played sweeper. He was behind the back line, bro. And not to defend, he was there so he could get the ball and carry it into and he'd either shoot or be the final pass. I think he'd thrive in this era.
Steve-O saw a player when he was younger. He went to his debut. A guy called Di Stefano. I've only seen clips, and me and Hyder were talking briefly about it. Honestly, I've watched the clips of Di Stefano. I think GLP were talking about it as well. The step-overs that he used to do
were a bit mad.
Sometimes he used to kick people in the chin. So his leg was too high.
No, there's definitely examples there's definitely examples where it's like you are only doing this because of the era that it was. But I'm talking the extreme examples, the Peles, the Maradonas. Even if you go more recent, like a Roberto Baggio.
Yeah, he's definitely baller.
A R9, a Romario.
Baller.
Like these guys would do it in any era, bro.
That's why I'm trying to go a little bit lower. Because I'm like, Gascoigne, I don't think he does it in this era. I don't think Gazza does it in this era at all. And my argument to that is like, you take a look at a lot of the English players that people compare to the likes of Gascoigne, their ceiling's like 24. You can go Jack Wilshere. I love Jack Wilshere, but his ceiling was early. Phil Foden. I think we've seen the best of Phil Foden, which is again upsetting for me, but I don't think them players in this generation, I don't think they cut it. Some of them, their biggest problem is today's so tactical, today's so like regimented. It's like, how do I tell Gascoigne to be organised?
But it's that, do you know what it is? I think they adapted to the times they were in. The times they were in was beer, vodka, sambuca. I'll tell you, I'll give you another example, yeah? I'll give you another example. I always used to see him on the telly. God, he's not there anymore, chatting what I thought was rubbish. Alan Hansen, ex-Liverpool player. I saw a clip of him kicking ball.
Baller.
I said, brother.
Baller.
I understand why you talk how you talk now. Same as, what's the other one? Graham Souness.
Baller.
Oh, this guy was a baller.
Baller.
Bro. So it's like, and these are guys, was Graham Souness best of the best back then?
He's part of Liverpool's most successful side.
So again,
yeah,
I think he'd be up there now, bro. I think he'd be up there.
Glenn Hoddle, I agree. Glenn Hoddle was absolute
Souness and them,
Brian
I don't
Robson.
think they'll cut it. I don't think he'll cut it in this era.
Bro, have you seen Souness kicking ball though?
Clips and that,
Broski.
yes. But techie.
Broski. It's not so much the tech, but it's the desire, the numbers.
Yeah. Punching man up, elbowing man, all of that.
This was not an era where midfielders were meant to be scoring the amount of goals he was scoring. The guy was a savage. And I just think having that in your team with these tactical everything, the nutrition, remember they would have been teaching him how to do it from his early teens. You understand? For him to get there, early 20s now, broski, what we'd have seen, because we could argue that these guys' development was broski. Their nutrition was an orange at half time and a cigarette. Oh yeah. No, literally.
No, it's true.
So for them to be good then, I think it was harder to be good then.
Who would you emulate in today's game? Souness.
If Carlos Puyol is born today, that don't work. Today, 17 years old, that don't work.
Puyol.
It just doesn't work. Man. He was a right back at the first start, and technically he couldn't cut it as a right back. He moved into centre back, and don't get it twisted. In that Barcelona side, crazy, but we're talking about an era where the midfield had the majority of the ball. Now the centre backs have the majority of the ball. And if I was an attacking player, because I had total class, and I saw Puyol taking touches on the ball, I'm closing that down. But you know, doesn't feel like Saliba to me.
But you know who he was playing against though? He was playing against top, like that era
ridiculous.
There.
But he didn't have the ball though. He didn't have the ball that much. He had to, basically, they play to his advantage. If you're running at Carlos Puyol, yeah, Carlos Puyol might have the advantage. But I'm talking about Carlos Puyol has the ball for about 10 seconds, like centre-backs do nowadays, and I'm asking him to be almost like a DM. I'm closing that boring book.
Puyol's a serious man, you know.
Of course.
Like Puyol, you know Puyol could have played for Barcelona basketball team. He was that much of an athlete. I swear down.
100% athlete.
I think he's a serious athlete, but you're right.
But technically, do you understand where I'm coming from though?
When it comes to being on the ball, but I think, for instance, like Gabriel now, I use Gabriel as an example. I think he's technically sound enough to be on the ball.
Just about,
but I don't think it's his technique that makes him good on the ball. It's his temperament. You understand? He's composed. He's a leader. He knows that this is his team's play style. It might be a bit outside of his game to be calm and collected, but it's what's required in these times. You understand? Whereas back then, what was required was greasy hair, aggression, rare tear. And for me, Puyol met that. You're right. You're 100% right though. I'm not making you wrong, because that is for defenders. I think that's where it's a bit of a toss. Again, Alan Hansen looked incredible. I can't say a lot. I can't say about a lot of centre-backs from back then. Again, Beckenbauer looked incredible to me. I see videos of like Ronald Koeman now, and I'm thinking, I don't know.
Didn't look crazy to me.
You know them way it's like, you get a ball in space or a set-piece situation, it's mad. But in this dynamic, getting the ball off the keeper era, maybe not. But I think attacking-wise, you know what? I hold my hand up, even though it was my statement. Maybe I'm saying this because of how attacking football is nowadays. It's dry, bro.
Yeah,
it's dry. So I've seen no disrespect to him. I've seen Chris Wood banging 20 league goals.
Yeah.
I think Pele could do that, bro.
100.
You understand?
100%,
I think Maradona could do it. I think flipping
Gabriel Batistuta could have done it.
all day. If we're going to 90s, because you see with that argument, you see when it comes to from the 90s, I reckon they dominate this era. The guys like the Batistuta, flipping Christian Vieri, R9, like if something like that was to land now,
Do you know what, I
100
have you
million
right?
at 19.
This is
at
what I'll
19.
say. This is what I'll say. I have you right. I reckon the mentality of the players from back in the day was elite.
It was elite.
Whereas the mentality today is a little bit distracted.
It's more.
So,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm out here cussing Carlos Puyol, but his desire, his mentality, his
Elite leader.
that's elite.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
yeah,
you find that today.
Yeah,
but if you just that ability in terms of to kick ball, I would prefer to watch Saliba. And that's no disrespect to
day,
Carlos
It's
all
Puyol.
less
All day.
systematic back then. Obviously, you had free roam players that were elite that can do
Yeah,
what they're
yeah,
supposed to do. Whereas today, you're being told how to play,
I'm talking
disregarding your ability.
Yeah.
You get it?
But Italian football was systematic though, and it was probably one of the best leagues in the world,
Yeah.
and it was very systematic.
It was, but again, they had off-the-cuff players, so like the Rui Costas, Del Piero, Pavel Nedved. These are guys you could give to Zidane.
Yeah,
you give them a ball, something's gonna happen. You understand, bro? And I think that was the epitome of being an attacker before this little 10-year period, maybe even 15. Because it's like we had Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, and it's like the world decided, the rest of the football world decided, if you're not these man's level, we just got to play fully tactical. Because you don't have the prowess to go on, and we don't see them Gareth Bales and them stand out, man. Now it's like someone in a system that maybe might be allowed a little bit of freedom, but then when they get older, you see with like a Saka now, that freedom gets reeled back in, you understand? So the rest of the team it could be easier for them.
But then it's a mentality thing, because maybe you're right, you know. A player that's got an elite mentality to me, and everyone disagrees with me, is Michael Olise.
Yes.
No boot sponsor,
Yeah.
doesn't care about nothing that's going on, just comes out and
Plays
kicks ball
ball.
every single
football.
week.
Yeah.
Pure footballer. And I think maybe him
That's
as a
a
footballer
throwback.
could definitely exist back in the day.
That's a throwback personality almost.
I even think Cole Palmer could exist back in the
Oh,
day.
ooh,
But again, because
yeah,
he's
yeah,
carefree. But I think maybe you're right, you know. Maybe elite players back in the day could easily survive today because they would convince themselves they're the best on the field. Rooney
Yeah.
convinced himself he was the best
Yeah.
on the field against France, and
Yeah.
by far was the most standout player. So I think the mentality. Maybe you're right, you know.
What would you say the last era was of that when it started to fizzle out? Where was our last
Like
era?
you said, the Roonies. I think the last era.
2012 onwards, I'd say.
Maybe, yeah.
That's
I'd say
when it
that was
started to
that's when they
disappear.
started to disappear. Because again, I remember would have been what? Coming up to not 20 years ago, like 15 years ago, like Gareth Bell, like these were individual man. It's like every year someone will pop up and it's like, raw, he's going crazy. You understand? And that kind of just became Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi after a little while.
They ruined
You
it,
get
no?
me? It's
Messi, Cristiano ruined it.
But it's to the extent that Neymar went there and said, brother, like I can't even be part of this. I have to. As much as I don't love that he went PSG, I get it.
I love
He
it.
was like, I can't do this. Like, how can my best years, I'm doing rainbow flicks over the guys' heads and controlling it with a Cruyff turn and all them.
You couldn't get in top two, innit?
And then Messi, this guy's just walking past him, man. Like, I can't, like, you know them way there, bruv. And it wasn't a hating thing. It was, because for me, you see Messi and Ronaldo, Messi's more looks like the from the brown boot era, brown football boots, brown football era. The guys who just get the ball, run, getting kicked, run. Cristiano Ronaldo represents the modern day, cut off socks, haircut, flinging your foot for the step over, all of that, knuckle balls on it. You understand, bro? And it's now we just kind of have, because if you say now, I say like Mbappe, probably Lamine,
Yes.
De Bruyne, as much as I don't love him, maybe even a Bruno. Like these are the
Yes.
youths that are gonna, from this generation,
Baller.
that when they're done, you're gonna look at them and say, no, I could have put them with a Nedved.
Yeah,
and a
100%,
Del Piero, and
100%.
They could have hang. Whereas, but then you got like a Haaland and a Gyökeres and a Rare. You're thinking, you probably score goals back then because of your physicality, but you wouldn't be seen like this. You wouldn't be seen like this. You understand, bro?
No, that's true.
And yeah, I just think in this generation, maybe that's what's pushing me to say this. There's just a lot there's a lot less of those players in it that are almost timeless. Like the players we call generational before were generational because not only because they were the best players in their generation, because they would have looked the best in any generation.
And I think we measure talent differently. We measure talent down to the contribution made to the team. And I think now they're measuring talent about what you did for yourself. And that's where it's confusing. It's like, what did you do? Irrespective of what the team does. That's why I'm always like, I love Bruno, but just in my era, if you had a man achieving a lot whilst the team wasn't doing that well, it was nothing to boast about. Absolutely nothing to scream about unless you was Del Piero at Napoli winning them the league. Like, no one cares, bro. Like, what, you dragged the team to 15th and you played well, yeah, but in the era of mentality, that some men are bringing their teams to, you know I'm coming from, like, bro, I said, the league at Napoli.
It's so stats-based now, yeah? I saw a man put up a video of Zidane against Italy in the Euro 2000s final where he absolutely killed it. You know what a man quoted it saying? This guy's so overrated. None of his chances he created were big chances. He had about 73% pass completed. And it's like, we don't come from that. We come from the side of aesthetic appreciation. So it's like, we've played football. We know what my man's doing is crazy. Mad. For me to even do this on a park with my boys, I know I'm going mad. He's doing it under the lights. Thousands of people watching him against the best other footballers in the world. But it's like you said, now the kind of joy has been taken. Remember I was saying to you, Hyder, I know it's a completely different topic. I was saying, we're about to win the league and
yes.
Obviously I'm happy, but it's like, it's not like back in the day. No. Broski, I could have been first in November in 2005. I'm like, yeah, we're going to rear it. You understand? And maybe it's because I was younger. Maybe I'm older and that's part of the magic.
We just ain't got any standout players.
It's like, mad, bro.
The joy of football.
I'm not to take away from, like, I remember, like, a player like Eden Hazard now, yeah? Ooh. Obviously amazing. But I remember back in the day, if that was earlier, there'll be like lesser versions of him. You know them way there. Whereas with Hazard, all we had was him. And Mane and Salah and you understand? There's like one of ones now. Like, fair enough, Lamine is young. Maybe not Lamine. Lamine's a bad example. Elise, yeah? He's entering his mid-20s. Who's the next one, bro? Luckily, we've got Lamine. but they're far apart now, broski.
Before there was
you understand? Before, every year, there was a you'd get wrong. You get me? The Wonder Kid, you could even argue that because of what I've said, that whole Wonder Kid title is fizzling out, bro. Because who's the Wonder Kids now? Who's the youths we're waiting for?
I feel
now?
like the only exceptions are France. They got like Barcola, Doué. They got that. Their thing's mad.
Today is the numbers game. It's a numbers game where aesthetic appreciation's gone out the window. As long as what it says on paper, after the game, after the season, after the tournament or whatever, that's all people care about. So the guys like the Zidanes, the Rui Costas, the Del Pieros, some of my favourite players growing up, people wouldn't like them now, bro. Who we met the other day, Dennis Bergkamp. Loons will sit right here and downplay his whole thing because he doesn't have 25 plus goal seasons.
And it's also, I always say to people, if all you done was watch the stats of the performance, then, and not to stray too far away from it, but like I said, back in the day, we understood certain things. I would watch Henry go to the corner in 2004, the game's 2-1, and he would try and win a corner, which means he would either pass it to flick off someone to go to, which would be an incompleted pass, but there's a purpose behind it. Or he would go wide and he would try to cross it or shoot or do something to gain an advantage for us to move forward, which wasn't to have the shot, which wasn't to complete the cross. It was for us to contain the ball. So people are not even looking at the reasons why certain people are doing certain things. Bruno Fernandes today, even, he's going to play the most ridiculous pass because he wants to win the game. He's not going to play a safe pass. He wants to win the game. No risk, no reward. Exactly. So his pass completion in a game might be 70%. But that pass he kept trying won the game. So what the fuck? How can you now say, oh, he needs to work on his pass completion? Are you stupid? The pass he's trying, there's about 100 guys in the Premier League that couldn't even try it on their best day. Do you know what I mean? So I just think today, where things are kind of stat-based, I don't think I've proven you wrong, cuz. I think you're actually right.
Bro,
I think
these guys from back in the day, like I can even go as far as to say like a Matt Letizia who was not
Folly King.
Broski, do you know what he is in this day and age?
His goal catalogue's disgusting.
Bro,
ridiculous, bro.
Like, you don't get these kind of players anymore. You get me? And think of one, boys.
No, hey,
do you know what?
I agree with Lippy still.
Boys, Who's right? It looks like it's Lippy. Can the guys from back in the day hang with the guys today? And more importantly, how about the top players today? Well, how do they fit in 1998? Can they go back? Leave a comment. Let us know, man. Let us know your top 5 players from back in the day that can compete today. And let us know your top 5 players from today that can compete with back. God bless. One love. Filthy for life.
Comment below, like, comment, subscribe.
Who do you think they'd say?